Okay. A feature. You asked for a feature. I think it may be time for wrapping the forums. What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. Actually, come think of it, what is it? Oh, yes. Yeah, it's wrapping the forums. Yes, yes, yes. The most ultimate of forum features, if such a thing existed. It's probably the only forum feature, come think of it. There. Oh, yes, we be street today, folks. We be down with it. Oh yes, 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 yes. You simply cannot handle the cool of the rap that's coming your way. Well, here it comes. The first drop of the day. It's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Devs, why do you hate Horde and AV? Okay, I want answers to the following questions. 1. Why did you feel the need to make the Horde base of wars? You can shoot over and jump over as well. There's no choke point. An extreme is in for access, while the Alliance have the cliffs. No jump over wars. The godforsaken bridge, they can sneak out in cap stuff way behind the enemy line undetected. They have 2 choke points. The top of the sonar and the bridge Horde has 0. What the f***? Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, question mark. 2. Why is it that the Ram Riders continue onto the Horde base, while the Wolf Riders ditz around like mid-freaking retards? Also, why do their bosses just sit around in middle? They should keep pushing toward the enemy base. They are what is supposed to end the war. Also buff them up. It should be whoever gets them up basically wins. Not whoever get them up first. Extremely annoyed, but not defeated. Especially the bridge. Again, the devs have really screwed over the Horde versus the city designs. Now the designs are BG. Why tell me how on earth you thought that was equal? Question mark. My comments on fixing it are this: make the area of the mountains just past where the Horde tunnel is a single choke point. Then put the walls on the very edge of the cliffs, or make the cliffs deeper and deeper. Then raise the high of the Horde base and add 1 bridge of our own, or at least a long choke point like a long-winded path or something, and level the area out in front of the Alliance base and move the towers. Our towers are on the choke point and aren't even close to each other, have less range. It's so frustrating. I don't think the Horde have pushed back their freaking bridge on any server. It was constantly suggested in beta that to be changed, yet you ignored it. Now it's broken on live and you still ignore it. Why? Question mark. To be honest, I don't think you guys could possibly handle just how street credible this next rap is. So if you're still behind the sofa, you be staying there while we be spinning. What the hell is spinning anyway? Let's see if I can read this next one. The text is really small. And we all know what small means, folks. It's blinging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, hello there all. Just wanted to post on the great way your assets handle yourselves when a problem is brought to your attention. I understand that in a game like this, people will find someone they don't like, agree with, but today, your actions as a guild and single members was very uncalled for. I have a 16 Harley and another high-level chart, and that was that at a belief that this build was the best Hellscream had to offer. Was very wrong. I'm not a kid or some crying something. I am, though, someone who hates his time being wasted. And today you wasted my time and made this game very undesirable for me. I am writing this post in hopes that you will try to make amends all this time of mine you wasted. Don't think it will happen, but I have to try. Talking about an incident which happened in school, I took the liberty to take screenshots of all the lovely conversations I had with a number of your guild members. No offense, but I do believe I did do anything wrong there. Yes, I did. I would stop healing. Why? Question mark. Because someone had been AFK for some time. And a dot. Yet was able to type to me. In response to me saying this, comma, instead of saying, hey, I'm here, or what is up, to get booted from the group with only 3 people to go to gambling. I did not swear I did not do anything up to this point. But to point out he was not doing anything little when I asked, what is up? I'll reply, our priest is already here already. So after I get banned into IF, I post out for you for me. Not only to be harassed for the next 2 hours by your stellar guild members. Don't really know what or if anything you will do about this. I just figured I would come and post this and say thanks for being in a game. Also to tell you I will make a post in the WoW forums about the way this guild handles things attached. Will be the screenshots of your great variety of language used to others in the game. I hope that you will reply to me before I make this post. To reach me, rumblr@hotmail.com. Made it just for you, so you can't say you don't know who I am. Everything truly blinging comes in threes. So here's the third. Are you smoking yet? There. 5273 FU nerfing rogues, mages, pallies, delete shamans. 2 started STV. I'm a level 38 warrior with the 38 rogue was her 30 of his hit points, and I had full hit points. I'm just coming over to him to help out. AS, I'm 10 to 15 feet or more coming in. Shaman Tauren, level 39. But stealth, it kills rogue insanely fast. Shamans at half hit points. Heals and spikes my tail. Both rogue and I had excellent EQ for our levels. I have the 2-hander magistrate with +7 in enchant. I beat most hitters my level. So I know I'm on the upper scale of where I should be. Truth is, people whine about nerfing rogues, saying that they kill too fast, backstabbing, phone stealth, and it's all over. That's fine, since rogue's only chance to win is the uber damage in the beginning. That's their nature. They nerf rogues and Polly would like to take away Frostnova and Blink if they had the chance. Polly's already been nerfed when it started playing back in Jan-Fed. Truth is, shamans are supposed to be Pally's alter ego, which I never heard of any game. To play shamans, go with druids. We must take a break from the bling and bring it back in. 5, 2 and a 4, which I never heard of. Every game I play shamans. Go with druids, shamans melee, like melee warriors, and heal that has offense in casting. That spanks. Fuck nerfing them and all. Delete all class. Shamans! Exclamation mark. Final thing is that the type of guy that does the complain on rogues. Better than druids, mage better than rogues. He or she is better because I come from school of if it's better then make one and level one. But I refuse to play a filthy ridden horde. Big apologies for that. But that's the price you pay for listening to Blue Please. You will be inflicted the evil rap of the forums. Chainpot asks if there's going to be rap in the forums on the Blue Please album. Yes, there will be. There will also be a bonus rap that you will never hear anywhere else, and it might even have a different beat in the background. Anyway, you're back on Blue Please here with WoW Radio. You never really went anywhere, but there you go. People keep asking for the pages for rap in the forums. Oh, please don't ask me to recall information that I sort of knew about half an hour ago but forgot. There. I'm not sure. I've posted 2 of the pages up there. Next time I'll make sure that you can read and rap along to Rap in the Forums in a karaoke style. Oh well. Anyway, let's get back on to the next topic. You see, you can talk about Battlegrounds all day in theory, but it's linked in with the whole idea of content. And I found there's some crazy ideas coming when it comes to content. And one of the ideas that came up on the forums was this. Level 60, you should have everything finished. And I thought, that's interesting. Yeah, basically this is what he said. He said that by level 60, there should be no content. You should hit level 6, all the content should be pre-60. Yes, that's what this guy believes. He says all the content should be pre-60, and when you hit level 60, you should be done, over. All you've got left is PvP. And his justification for this is that apparently, because you're level 60, you can't use the rewards from the content, and you can't progress. Now, this guy's obviously never been to Molten Core. Because if he had, then he'd know exactly what level 60 content progression is all about. Level 60 versus the level 60 with Molten Core gear. Who's going to win? It's going to be the guy with the Molten Core gear, unless he's a complete and total tit. And there's your progression. It stops becoming level-based, it starts becoming equipment-based. It's a variation. And that's hopefully what the hero classes are going to be. You can't keep adding on levels because that is generic and stupid. The reason for that is simple. Grinding sucks. Now, if you're having fun along the way, that's great. But if you're simply grinding for experience, I can't see how you can be enjoying it. It's very difficult. You're doing it for a reason. Because you think you'll have more fun when you get higher level. Now, if you were to follow his particular example of logic, then you would grind all the way up to 60 and that's it. No more fun for you. No! So this guy believes that the end game, 60, is the end of the end game. Or so he says. No. And Luminar makes a very good point. He says that most people say it begins at 60, and it does. There's a lot of 60 content. People have been crying for it. 60 is when it starts to balance out. You can't complain that your opponent is higher level than you anymore. You can complain he's got better equipment, but it becomes a little more experience-based as far as game experience rather than XP points. As in, the most experienced player will win the fight. Or the player who's created the best situation, etc, etc. Now, we're not going to get back to the skill argument. We covered that last week, and we sort of came to this conclusion that there are many different kinds of skill. And if you want to define skill in a WoW form, it's actually defining game experience along with equipment and the ability to create an advantageous situation. But no, I have to completely disagree with this guy. 60 should be hitting a whole new different kind of gaming experience. It's not grinding anymore, so 60 is the time where Blizzard can create something a little different to Final Fantasy Online or whatever. That's just grind. Keep going. Today I can be level 317. Well, that's thrilling. No, it isn't. That's not thrilling at all. The idea is that your goal for the first half of the game is to hit level 60. The goal of the second half of the game is to get yourself some fat loot, elite equipment, and start scrapping it out over in the battlegrounds, in the instances, and in PvP. And at that point, you start to create your own content. Basically, what Blizzard has given you is a sandbox to play with. You can do anything in that sandbox. You can jump into it. You can throw sand at people. You can build a sandcastle. You can bury someone in it. But it remains the same. It is a sandbox for you. And what you make out of that sandbox is really your own. So a lot of people have this idea that doing repetitive runs of, say, Scholar Mounts, etc. for elite equipment is boring. Yes, it can be, but then again, you're aiming to attain something which is quite rare, as in say your full armor kit. Certainly in Europe, it's not very common to see someone with a full tier 1 kit. No one's got a full tier 2, we already know that, but a couple of bits of it, maybe. But the tier 1 kit, your Beast Stalker, your Magisters, your Dreadmist. And you don't see a lot of common... You don't really see commonly a lot of players with the full shebang. Now, I'm not sure how it is on the US. You probably got more of it because you've been playing for longer. We haven't. We're only just starting to get these full bits of gear. And they are for the dedicated. You do not need them. But it's a sense of reward. And Panda says this, it makes it worthwhile and a happy champion wants to set his full up. Exactly. And it's another goal for you to shoot for that isn't experience-based. It's a change. Do you see? It is a change, and it's a different way of looking at the game. Because do you want more levels? I send that question out to you all. Do you really want more levels? To be honest, that's easy content. Blizz could quite happily have simply added more and more levels as they went along. They could have done SOE and just expansion. Increase the level cap, add more quests, blah, blah, blah. That's easy. Blizz have taken the other way. Instead, they have not increased the XP cap. While they've added more quests, they've expanded the entire world in the scope of the world with the honor system, with Battlegrounds. Completely new and very different ideas to your usual MMO RPG experience. And I'm seeing my screen is scrolling down right now with people saying, no, we don't want to get to level 60. And they're saying it's a cop-out, and they would be absolutely, totally correct in that. Because it is. It is a cop-out of content. The way to have content, the way to develop content, is develop something new, innovative, and unique. A different experience, something different to play with. That's the way you go, and that's the way it works. However, other MMOs have gone the other way. They've gone the easy option, and I applaud Blizzard for not falling into that trap, because it's easy to try and appease people with more levels and more generic questing. What's the difference of killing off 40 level 70 ogres as opposed to 40 level 60 ogres? There isn't. It's the same quest, you just happen to be doing it again and again. Total waste of time. Not what you want. You want a different experience. You want something to keep you interested. And you're not going to be kept interested by something which is exactly the same as what you were doing before! That's the kind of thing that gets me a little bit angsty when people get this attitude into their heads that adding more levels and more quests is content. No! It most certainly is not. Content is Battlegrounds. Content is the upcoming hero class, and I hope they do not fall into the trap of the level 70. I don't want a hero class to be level 70. And metaphorically speaking, in the way that a hero class is directly more powerful than a non-hero class, because that's effectively just leveling. Now, the way to do it would simply be to diversify, and I'm not going to go into hero classes again, because people ask and bring me back onto this subject all the time, and it's simple speculation. But as far as I'm concerned, content should be added in a way that is different to previous content and not repeating it. More instances is cool. It's a staple of RPG content. A dungeon is a staple RPG feature. Dungeons are fun, and if they're not fun, then you're doing something wrong. Because you should be doing dungeons with friends, and doing dungeons with people you can enjoy the dungeon crawl with. And that's why people play Dungeons & Dragons, for God's sake. That's why people do dungeon crawling on Diablo 2 and all the other MMOs. Hopefully because it's fun, and not specifically because they are grinding for their equipment. And I think when people grind for equipment, they miss the point of the game. An instance, a dungeon should be an enjoyable experience, and if it isn't, there's something horribly, horribly wrong. And I think that's a player attitude, and it's not Blizzard's. Blizzards have designed instances to be both challenging and hopefully enjoyable. I think I just pushed my speaker off the desk. Anyway, that's not the point. Some of them are less enjoyable than others. Excuse me for a second while I blow my nose once more. Colds suck, by the way. Anyway. They're designed to be enjoyable. Some are less enjoyable than others. That's got to be inevitable. Some people have their preferences. I personally cannot stand Ragefire, yet I love Scarlet Monastery. I can't stand Shadowfang Keep, because it's a pain in the ass for mages. But I love Zul'Farrak. That's good fun. Gnomewigan's quite fun for a little smack. It's a very interesting instance. And dungeon crawling should be fun. It should not simply be a case of fat loot and grinding equipment. No. That's not how it should be at all. And hopefully, Blackwing Lair is going to be a lot of fun, and the new instances are going to be a lot of fun as well. But if you don't like playing instances, that could be a bit of an issue. And that's why Blizzard needs to diversify some. Simply because not everyone likes to dungeon crawl. Now, when it comes to instances, items are what you're in there for. Loot. Everyone knows it. That's the way it's always been since D&D. You're in there for the fat loot. You're in the dungeons down in Diablo 2 for the fat loot. In any game, the reason the dungeon exists is because it contains fat loot. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there in the first place. You wouldn't want to go into it. You know, why do you go underground? The place is totally overrun by trucks. I'll just go under here for a holiday. I'll go in there to have a picnic with the trucks. No, it's not going to happen, is it? The reason you're in there is for fat loot. However, there's a difference between attaining fat loots and grinding for fat loots. Because you turn that into a chore, and if you're not enjoying it, yeah, sure, the loot is your goal. XP may be the goal if you're not level 60. Questing may be the goal. But the fat loot is what you're after. And the fat loot is enjoyable when you receive it. It makes your day. But it doesn't make your day when you grind and repeat the instance over and over again and it gets boring. You need to dungeon crawl with friends, dungeon crawl with people you can communicate with. It's an MMORPG. It has a social aspect to it. And you should stick with that. And I think, to be honest, that is how Blizzard have designed instances. A social experience for fat loot. Absolutely ideal as far as I'm concerned. That's exactly what it should be. Now, we've been on the subject of content for a little while. Obviously, that takes us back to the idea of Battlegrounds. And today we've created a special Nubcake News Battlegrounds edition. And that's what you're going to receive. This is a satire warning, folks. As it not the little satires dancing around the demons. It's a satire warning, an irony warning, a sarcasm warning, a British humour warning. A little bit Python-esque, perhaps. We shall see. If you are offended or just generally rendered incomprehensible by sarcasm, satire, British humour, irony, all that bollocks, then tune out now for the next 2 minutes 53 seconds. Because coming up is Nubcake News. Enjoy. Welcome to this week's edition of Nubcake News. We were going to read the Jackson verdict to you, but we discovered that no one actually cares. So what are the news? Shock and awe are two words, only one of which can describe the reaction of the community to Battlegrounds. Howls of protests have erupted from the role players everywhere as it was revealed today that Battlegrounds actually contain battles. In yet another crazy move by Blizzard Entertainment's Communist Department, the introduction of Battlegrounds marks a massive change in the WoW environment. Where previously there was only peace, now there are so-called battlegrounds in which players are expected to do battle. Veteran player and chairman of the board, Lucifer Dingleberry, was interviewed earlier and had this to say. This new edition is totally unthinkable. This is a role-playing game, not Counter-Strike. How can Blizzard possibly expect anyone to cope with this new concept of battle? I was roving the countryside earlier for my usual gank grinding session with my raid group. When we realised we'd been wandering for 30 minutes, I'd only ganked 5 nooblars. A guildmate piped up and said, "They're all in the Battlegrounds, Gavner." At first I chortled at this suggestion. Battle? in grounds. But then it dawned on me, they really are there. What could they possibly be doing? This is a role-playing game. We don't battle here. Blizzard President George What's-His-Face was found earlier under a pile of empty whiskey bottles, along with a woman of questionable morality, 3 pool cues, and half a bag of frozen peas. When asked what he was doing there, he declined to comment and instead issued the following Battlegrounds-related statement. We realise that the WoW community may have difficulty adjusting to this concept of battle. However, we believe it is for the best. Remember, kids, Liz knows best. Remember when little Timmy protested and disappeared the following day? Well, that'll happen to you. Oh, yes. So keep your mouths shut. Mr. What's-His-Face was subsequently seen being dragged out of his sleazy motel room by armed police, screaming obscenities and something about haddock. The Azerothian Society for Unreasonable Safety has issued the following cautionary advice. Treat Battlegrounds as you would an unusual ganking session. Never attack an evenly matched group, for this is against the fundamental principles of WoW. Seek out the lone noob and farm him for honor. WoW will now be renamed to a more suitable title. The previous name, World of Flower Arranging, will be scrapped in favour of a new, more descriptive moniker. We shall call it World of Warcraft. We'll have more for you as the story develops, but for now, it looks like World of Warcraft is here to stay, and people better watch out. This has been Nupcake News. Good night.